Coffee and cigar time. Of course. 2 words I want to give you today. Consistent and persistent. Listen to this video carefully. I'm going to combine these for you as well. Consistent, meaning you behaving, doing, acknowledging, doing things like what you do over a period of time the same way over and over and over, especially if you're getting results. Let's not attach this with results just yet. But also persistent, doing or continuing to do a thing despite the challenges and complexities, difficulties that thing brings. And it's incumbent upon you and I to understand which to apply where in our life. And it's not easy to discover that without some consistency. And understanding, am I getting the result that I want by doing this thing this way over this period of time? Superimposes over to relationships. This is a really big one, and this is where you and I will have to decide where to apply which of these words. But I'm going to add one more level of complexity to those 2 words. First of all, being consistently persistent, but also being persistently consistent. Okay? Both ways. Being consistently persistent, but also being persistently consistent. Let that sink in for a moment. You will have to discover which opportunities avail for the persistently consistent opportunity for you to have the breakthrough and the success that you want in your relationships and business and creating your brand or whatever it applies to. You need both. Nope, it's got a tag there. It's not going to be easy, and if you have to, look up the words independently, see the difference between the 2, and then start to apply them where you need them in your life. They're not that easy to apply, but you need them both in order to be successful in life. You need them both. And there are times you need them combined together, and identifying whether I need to be consistently persistent in this particular thing, or do I need to be consistently persistent? The conundrum of life and the conundrum of growth, the conundrum of success, the caveat of continued success is being persistently consistent, but also persistently consistent. Or the other way around, if I said it twice that way. Let that sink in for a moment. Think about it, pontificate on it, ruminate on it, because you're going to find those opportunities guaranteed in your relationships with people, whether it's with a spouse or whether it's with a significant other, let's just say significant other, whether it's with people you grew up with. But do know, as we already know, you're going to lose some people along the way. Some things are not going to gel together the way you want them to gel together, and that's okay. If they don't, let it be. Your job is to be consistent, to show up the same way all the time, authentically. Let me interject that word, authentically, every single time. They just have to understand who you are, and do they like who you are? If they like who you are, cool, good. Y'all can come together to some degree and flourish, and perhaps have a prosperous relationship. Show up who you are all the time. Then there would be some times when the relationship may be a bit challenging and some complexities settle in. And this is where you'll have to be able to be persistent to get through them. So you have to be consistently persistent. Consequently, in that same relationship, again, being persistent in a certain thing and make sure the consistency that you have continues to reside in, or I should say, and show up in your authenticity. For some of you, you're going to say, oh, that's the same thing, and blah, 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 blah. Fine, if it's the same thing for you, however you take that, cool. Some of you, some other ones that are listening to this, including my girls, you're going to get it, and you'll see how those two are intertwined, but at the same time take a significant amount of persistence in order to flourish. And you'll realize that you have to be consistent despite the opportunities that come to you. At the same time, being persistently consistent and consistently persistent can also create the opportunities that you want in your life. That's where the magic happens. Most people will not get there. By not understanding who they are, as I spoke about in the previous video, and not understanding that and the complexities of that who you are, and understanding how that also pertains to them in order to move forward in a sagacious, clever, wise way towards everyone you encounter. So as simple as it may sound, and you may know the definition of the words already, take the challenge if you're up for it. Pull back, isolate, ruminate, pontificate, discover, and grow. Not easy. Easier said than done. I'll leave you with that.